Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. I'm Nathan Hager, joined by Bloomberg's Kriti Gupta. One big stock on the move after earnings is a stock we could talk about in the context of the macro economy. Kriti, let's talk about FedEx. Good morning.
Good morning, Nathan. Let's do it. FedEx is sinking in a very big way. Shares down a whopping 6% this morning and dropping as we speak. It is your biggest downside mover, coming off a pretty scary warning from the shipper, basically saying that there are tariffs coming, more tariffs coming. There's more pain ahead, and that is ultimately going to hit on demand. Remember, the context of this is crucial. We just heard from Jay Powell in the last 24 hours saying pretty much the exact same thing, that we don't see the data show up yet, but that pain is coming. That's something that FedEx really ran with in terms of that warning. They're actually saying the profit impact for their company, their bottom line, could be worse this quarter, simply because of that trade war weighing on their business. Now, in the pre-market, like I said, you started to see the shares pair a little bit of those losses, but still down almost 6% in the pre-market. And remember, this is a stock that has been down quite a bit this year. We're looking as much as 18%. They're also in the midst of a massive restructuring, a massive cost saving here as well, because FedEx and UPS are dealing with the loss of some crucial clients. FedEx famously losing the business of the United States Post Office, and UPS also losing some business when it comes to Amazon as well. So these two companies have really been looking at digging into their cost savings. FedEx saying that this latest development on the tariff story is certainly not helping them, and the market is taking that at face value, down about 6%, like I said, for FedEx. But we also have to get a quick check on UPS shares as well. FDX is the ticker for FedEx. UPS is also the ticker for the company UPS. Naturally, those shares down about 1%. And I think this is really interesting. These are two companies that move together in lockstep. And this morning, you are, of course, seeing an outsized reaction in FedEx, but keep an eye at the open and see if UPS starts to show a little bit more of that pain. Just as we speak, we're now down about 1.4% on UPS shares in the pre-market, Nathan. So lots going on in the shipping space as well. A couple of analyst upgrades that I want to put on your radar, though. And to give you the negative, let me give you the positive here. Your biggest mover in the pre-market to the upside within the S&P 500 is actually Coinbase, which has been having a pretty decent streak this morning. COIN is your ticker, higher by about 3%, trading at $354 a share. Looks like they're getting a price target boost over at Bernstein from $310 a share to $510 a share. They're staking with their outperform rating. That's a pretty big boost. And we should remember Coinbase also got a boost in terms of the last couple of days when you started to get a bit of a green light from stablecoin legislation out of Washington, D.C. So that has been a positive for the cryptocurrency exchange. Nathan, a little bit of a throwback because I know you love those. Let's talk about BlackBerry here this morning.
That is a throwback. Wow.
I know. We don't talk about it very often, but who
I used
knew?
to have one.
I did not. I admit it. I did not. I was a flip phone girly and then an iPhone. I know, my youth. Nevertheless, BlackBerry shares, BB is your ticker. Shares are higher by about 12%. Looks like their forecast is pretty strong, not because of the cell phones, but because of the software that's getting a bit of a tailwind.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.